Good morning students. Welcome back to this session of lockdown virtual classes. This is Meetu, your science teacher. I hope you all are keeping good and healthy with your parents, and side by side I also expect from you that you might be studying whatever the portion which we have already completed. You might have gone through the books and try to connect and understand the topics. Now students, today I'll be talking about a chapter from your 8th class science textbook, that is coal and petroleum. In Hindi, this is koila or petroleum. Students, in this lesson, we'll be talking about few things like natural and man-made resources, the inexhaustible and exhaustible resources, the fossil fuels, for example, coal, petroleum and natural gas. We'll also talk about the exhaustible or the limited resources of energy. How do we use it? How do we control it? How do we, use it very judiciously since it is limited in nature? And finally, students, before going into the chapter, I would like to have a small discussion with you. As you all know that we human beings, in order to fulfill our requirements, our needs, we depend on various materials which is present in nature, or we made few materials for our use. So students, depending upon these things, the resources are categorized into two things. Number one is the natural resource. As you all know that natural resources are those resources which are already present in nature and these are unlimited. For example, you know that sunlight, the air, the water, the minerals, the forest, the wildlife, etc. And the second one is the man-made resources, which means those resources which we made or which we manufacture for our benefit, for our use. For example, synthetic fibers, synthetic plastics and all other machineries. एंड स्टूडेंट्स, मैं जैसे बता रही थी दो प्रकार के संसाधन होते हैं, एक है प्राकृतिक और एक है मानव निर्मित। प्राकृतिक वो जो कि पहले से प्रकृति में मौजूद है, जैसे वायु, सूर्य का प्रकाश, वन्य जीवन आदि। और मानव निर्मित वो वस्तुएं जो हम अपने सुविधा के लिए, अपने उपयोग के लिए बनाते हैं। नाउ दिस नेचुरल रिसोर्सेस depend upon their quantity in nature. They can again categorize into two categories, that is the inexhaustible and exhaustible natural resource. Students, now what is inexhaustible natural resources? These are those resources whose quantity is unlimited in nature and it will not be exhausted or finished by the human activities. For example, the sunlight, the air. स्टूडेंट्स, मैं बात कर रही थी अक्षय प्राकृतिक संसाधन, यानी वो संसाधन जो भरपूर मात्रा में प्रकृति में मौजूद है और हम मानव के कार्यकलाप द्वारा ये समाप्त नहीं होगा, जैसे कि सूर्य का प्रकाश और वायु। एंड द सेकेंड वन इज exhaustible natural resources. As the name indicates, these are those resources which will be exhausted one day, which is present in a limited quantity in nature, and as we go on using this, one day it will finish. For example, the wildlife, the forest, the minerals, the fossil fuels, all these are exhaustible natural resources. मैं बात कर रही थी बच्चों ऐसे संसाधन जो समाप्त हो सकते हैं, जो समाप्त होने वाले प्राकृतिक संसाधन है, यानी जैसे कि मान लीजिए कोयला, पेट्रोलियम, वन्य जीवन, खनिज, ये सारे चीज़ें अगर हम मानव इसे लगातार उपयोग करेंगे तो ये एक दिन समाप्त हो जाएगा, क्योंकि इसकी जो क्वांटिटी है पृथ्वी में बहुत ही सीमित है, बहुत ही कम मात्रा में है. सो दिस आर ऑल अबाउट द exhaustible and inexhaustible natural resources. Now students, before going into chapter, I would like to talk about fossil fuels, which means Jivasham Indhan. Now what is fossil fuels? those fuel which is formed by the body of dead organisms or the fossils are known as fossil fuels. यानी वो ईंधन जो मरे हुए जीवों के अवशेषों से बना है, यानी जीव जब मर जाते हैं उनके जो अवशेष बचे रहते हैं उनसे जो ईंधन का निर्माण हुआ है उसे हम जीवाश्म ईंधन कहते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल coal, petroleum and natural gas. In this chapter we'll be talking about individually the coal, the petroleum and the natural gas. Now students, we'll talk about the first fossil fuel, that is coal. As you can see, this is the picture of coal in your TV screen. It is black in color, it is as hard as stone, and when it burns it produces heat and carbon dioxide gas. Now students, let us look into the uses of coal. Students, number 1, coal is used as a fuel in cooking at homes. Number 2, in earlier days it was used in the railway engines to produce steam for the engine. Number 3, it is used in the thermal power plant for the generation of electricity. And number 4, it is used as a fuel in most of the industries. As you can see in your picture, this is the picture of the coal where it is used in the factories. Students, you have seen coal. You know about its uses. Now I would like to tell you the story of a coal. Students, story is not only heard in the English or Hindi classes, but I can tell you a story in the science class also. We'll talk about the history, the formation of coal. Students, about 300 million years ago, the earth had a dense forest. Okay, now due to the natural process like flooding, this dense forest, it has buried under the soil. As the soil deposited more and more over it, this get compressed. Then as the temperature rises, as it sinks deeper and deeper into the soil, the temperature rose. Under high temperature and pressure, this forest, it has gradually converted into coal. Coal mainly consists of carbon, and the process of conversion of the dead plants into coal is known as carbonization. You can try to understand in this way. Students, for example, this is a tree or so many trees in the forest. When after the flooding, it has been buried under the soil, and the layers of the soil accumulated over this tree, and it become very compressed, and under high temperature and pressure, this dead plant, it gradually converted into coal, and the process is known as carbonization. Let me explain in Hindi also. बच्चों, कोयला का कहानी ये है कि 300 मिलियन वर्ष पूर्व पृथ्वी में बहुत घने जंगल हुआ करते थे. एंड क्या हुआ, उन दिनों पृथ्वी का हालात ऐसे थे कि बहुत सारे फ्लड्स आते थे, हवा तूफान आता था. तो उसके बाद क्या हुआ, ये जो घने जंगल थे ना, ये मिट्टी के नीचे दब गए. एंड ये जब मिट्टी और अधिक उसके ऊपर में दबते गए, ये पेड़ बहुत ज़्यादा संपीड़ित हो गया. एंड उसके बाद में यहाँ पे ज़मीन के नीचे तापमान बहुत बढ़ गया. एंड बहुत अधिक दाब के कारण ये मृत वनस्पति जो है कोयला में परिवर्तित हो गया, और इस प्रक्रम को हम कार्बनीकरण कहते हैं. स्टूडेंट्स, नाउ वी विल सी दैट after heating of the coal, what are the components which we get? There are different components which we obtain from heating the coal in a limited oxygen. We will try to understand more about this through this video clip. Destructive distillation of coal. When we burn coal in limited supply of air or oxygen, then many useful products are obtained, such as coke, coal tar, coal gas, etc. This process is known as distillation of coal. Now, coke. The black residue obtained from destructive distillation of coal is known as coke. Students, coke is a porous black solid substance. It is an almost pure form of carbon. It is used in the manufacturing of steel and in the extraction of many metals. Next, students, we will talk about coal tar. Coal tar is a black, thick liquid with unpleasant smell. It is a mixture of about 200 substances. Coal tar is used in various industries such as in the manufacturing of synthetic dyes, in the manufacturing of drugs, explosives, manufacturing of plastics, manufacturing of paints, also for photographic materials, and in the manufacturing of roofing materials, and also in the manufacturing of naphthalene balls. Now students, coal gas. Coal gas is obtained during the processing of coal to get coke. It is used as a fuel in many industries. Students, as you have already seen in my video clip that the last components of the coal was the bitumen. Let me tell you students, when I was in my childhood days, those days, coal tar was being used for the metaling of the road, and nowadays the thick dark black fluid which you are seeing, which is being used for the road metaling, that is bitumen, which means now bitumen has replaced the coal tar. Now students, let us go into the next fossil fuel, that is the petroleum. We'll talk about the petroleum. Students, this is petroleum which you can see on your TV screen. It is a thick, dark, oily liquid. And students, it produces a very unpleasant odor or smell. And this petroleum, it has several uses. The uses of petroleum, for example, we extract petrol and diesel from petroleum. As you all know, petrol is used in the light automobiles like motorbike, the scooters and the cars. And the diesel is used in the heavy vehicles, for example, trucks and tractors. Now students, you have seen the two components of petroleum. Number one is the petrol and the diesel. You have seen its uses also. Now let me tell you the story of petroleum, how it was formed. Students, petroleum was formed by the organisms living in the ocean. Okay, when this organism died, they get settled down at the bottom of the sea, and the clay and the sand, it covers this dead organism, and after millions of years this goes deeper and deeper by the accumulation of sand and clay. Now, in the absence of oxygen and high temperature and pressure, the dead body of these organisms, they gets converted into petroleum. You can try to understand this maybe in this way, like for example, this is a sea organism, maybe a fish, big fishes. This organism, these fishes or big organisms, when it dies, it gets settled down at the bottom of the sea. Now what happens? The clay, the sand particles, it gets accumulate layer by layer over it. and here when it was settled down, as it goes deeper and deeper, this, in the absence of oxygen and at high temperature and pressure, the dead living organisms, they directly gets converted into petroleum. And students, let me tell you, petroleum are present beneath the ocean, beneath the sea, in our wells, and we can put down the tubes, we can drill the pipes towards the the oil fields, and we can extract the petroleum. Students, likewise, above the petroleum which is formed by the dead body of these organisms, there will be a natural gas also. As you know, the bottom, it will be water, and the first layer will be water here, then the oil means petroleum, then the gas. As you all know that gas is lighter than oil, so it will be on the topmost level. Then oil is lighter than water, so it will be in the second level. So the ONGC, oil and natural gas companies, those people, they will drill in this well, and they will drill down the pipe over here, they will extract the gas, and they will drill down the pipe over here to extract the oils. This is how petroleum is formed. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, मैं पेट्रोलियम का निर्माण को थोड़ा सा हिंदी मीडियम के बच्चों के लिए भी बताना चाहूँगी। बच्चों, पेट्रोलियम का निर्माण कैसे होता है? जैसे मैंने आपको बताया ना कि कोयला का निर्माण कैसे हुआ। पहले ज़माने में हज़ारों साल पहले जब बड़े बड़े वृक्ष गिर गए थे, जब ज़मीन के नीचे दब गए थे, बहुत अधिक दाब एंड बहुत अधिक ताप के कारण वो जो है सड़े बिना सीधे कोयले में बदल गए थे। अभी वैसे ही बच्चों, समुद्री जीव, जो समुद्र में बड़े बड़े जीव हुआ करते थे उन दिनों में, जब वे जीव मर गए थे, उनका शरीर समुद्र के जो बॉटम है, जो तल है, वहाँ पे जाके सेटल हो गया। उसके बाद क्या हुआ, सैंड और क्ले इस जलीय जीव के ऊपर में आके दबते गए और जैसे जैसे समय गुजरता गया, हजारों साल के बाद में जैसे जैसे ये और अधिक दबते गए बच्चों, ये संपीड़ित होते गए और वहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन की कमी के कारण, वायु की कमी के कारण और बहुत अधिक ताप और बहुत अधिक दाब के कारण ये जो जलीय जीव है, ये जो मृत जीव है, इसका शरीर जो है पेट्रोलियम में यानी कि एक काला रंग का तेल में, ऑयल में बदल गया। Now students, let us talk about what are the other components which is being obtained from the petroleum. Once extracted from the oil wells, this petroleum, they are taken into petroleum refineries. You can have a look on the picture on your screen. This is the picture of petroleum refinery. Now let us see in detail what are the components which is being extracted from petroleum and what are its uses. To know better, let us have a look on this video clip. Now students, we'll talk about fractional distillation of petroleum. Petroleum is a mixture of many substances such as petroleum gas or LPG, petrol, kerosene oil, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, etc. Students, these components are separated through fractional distillation. This process is carried out in various petroleum refineries. Here, various components are separated on the basis of their boiling point. When petroleum is heated, petroleum gas are separated at the top. This gas is then liquefied and filled into cylinders as a liquefied petroleum gas. We use it in our kitchen. Now, petroleum gas. Petrol is separated below LPG. As you might be aware, petrol is used as a fuel in motor vehicles, aeroplanes, etc. Petrol is used for dry cleaning. Kerosene is separated below petrol. Students, it is used in stoves, lamps, jet aircrafts, etc. Then the next component separated is diesel, which is used as a fuel for motor vehicles, electric generators, etc. Students, the next component which is separated is lubricating oil, which is used in machines for lubrication. Now, let us talk about the next component, that is the paraffin wax, which is used for making ointment, candles, Vaseline jellies, etc. Now students, we would see the next components, that is the bitumen. It is used for making paints and in road surfacing. Now students, we will talk about the third fossil fuel, that is the natural gas. This is the natural gas. Now students, you can see on your screen, this is natural gas. Students, let me tell you, natural gas is a very important fossil fuel because it is very easy to transport through the pipe systems. Now, what are the uses of natural gas? Let me tell you, the first use is it is used in the household in the form of using as a fuel for cooking. These natural gas are kept under high pressure, compressed, for example CNG or compressed natural gas. It is used as a fuel for cooking, it is used as a fuel in various industries, it is used as a fuel in automobiles nowadays because it is a cleaner fuel and it produces less pollution. That is why nowadays it is being used in most of the vehicles. And the last use of natural gas is it is used as a raw material in the manufacturing of various chemicals and fertilizers. Now students, let us talk about the various reserves of the natural gas in our country, in India. The first reserve is being found in Tripura, second in Rajasthan, third in Maharashtra, and also the Krishna Godavari Delta. Now students, we have seen three fossil fuels, and as I have already told you that this is the example of exhaustible natural resources. As I have already told you that these are present in a very limited quantity in nature. So over exploitation of these natural resources will lead to the extinction or the exhaustion or the finish of these natural resources. Now students, since it is exhaustible natural resources, we have to use this very judiciously. Then we have to, of course, keep these natural resources for the future generation also. Hence, we need to use this for long-term sustainably. Now think about students, if this coal, petroleum and natural gas is exhausted from nature, what will happen? As you all know that we human beings mostly we depend on these resources. For example, let me take an example of petrol. Our generators, our big thermal power plants, they are working with the help of petrol. Now these generators are working with the help of petrol. These generators in turn they provide us electricity supply, and you all very well know that how much importance electricity plays in our life. you know what importance role it has in our life. You know, we can't survive without the electricity in today's generation. Each and everything, our home appliances, our gadgets, every machineries, everything, students, it depends upon the power supply. It depends upon the electricity. Just imagine if you don't have power supply for 3-4 hours or maybe 24 hours, what will happen? You know, we will scream, we will become frustrated without the power supply, because our life are dependent in this power supply only. So just think, students, what will happen if this energy, this petrol or the petroleum products exhausted or finished from this earth, what will happen? Let me tell you, if in a proper correct time we don't find the replace of this resources, we will again have to go back in the olden days as like the early man. You know what will happen? Just think, dear students, I just wanted you to think. Just imagine there is no power supply. All the machineries have been shut down. What will happen year after year? Whatever the things have been manufactured, for example, our clothes, maybe rest of our other materials which we use for our daily life, that will exhaust one day. That will finish one day. Finally, what will happen? कपड़े खत्म हो गए, कारखाने बंद हो गए, क्या होगा? हम लोग दोबारा से आदि मानव जैसे बन जाएंगे. We have to wear clothes. We have to wear leaves, we have to wear animal skin. So just think, student, we won't feel like, putting the world, the future generation into that situation. We won't feel like to go back in the early man days. That is why it's very important, students, you are the future generation. This is very important for you to know that how to use judiciously the petroleum products, what role it plays in our life. It is for you, I am talking to you. Because you will grow up one day, you will become the future generation. You have to educate, you have to tell the future coming generations. That is why I am telling you, we have to judiciously use all these products, and we should not let the coming generation suffer or survive without these natural resources. Now, as already mentioned, these are limited in nature. One day it will exhaust. Then let me talk about few harmful effects of using this petroleum products. Students, as I've already told you, burning of coal, it releases heat and carbon dioxide gas. Burning of petrol, the diesels, this all produces various gases which leads to the air pollution. As you all know, air pollution is very harmful for us, and nowadays it's a very hot issue which is going on throughout the world. You have already heard in the news the pollution level in the Delhi, how it has increased in the Chandigarh. Every places of the world, the air pollution has increased a lot. Now, this air pollution, in turn, the few gases like carbon dioxide leads to a global warming also. And I hope you know very well what is global warming. It is nothing but the increase in the temperature of the globe, of the earth. And you know the consequences very well. If the global warming increases, what will happen, dear students? The polar ice on the polar region, it will start melts, water level will rise, and floods will arise. The small islands, the coastal areas will be drawn under water. So students, there are lots of consequences of using the petroleum products or the fossil fuels, and also we have to use it very carefully. Students, now let me tell you, let me give you few tips which is written in your textbook for all the people, how to save petrol and diesel. Number 1, we should maintain the speed of our vehicle in a constant moderate speed as far as possible. Number 2, we should switch off the engine of our vehicle whenever we stop at the traffic junction or the traffic signals or a place where we need to wait. But several times we have seen that several people, they keep the engine of their automobiles on at the the traffic signals or while they are purchasing or talking to somebody. So we have to be very careful. Next, we have to ensure the correct air pressure of our tires, the tires of the vehicles, because the correct air pressure will help in the minimum consumption of the petrol or diesel in a vehicle. And the last is we have to ensure the regular maintenance of our automobiles or the vehicles. So students, keeping in mind all these points, we can save the petrols and the diesels or the petroleum products for the future generations also. Now, before concluding this session, I would like to recapitulate for you what we have studied in this chapter. Students, in this chapter we have seen, as a whole we discuss about the coal and petroleum. We have seen what are the natural and man-made resources. We talked about what is inexhaustible and exhaustible natural resource. We have talked about the fossil fuels. We have seen three important fossil fuels, that is the coal, the petroleum and the natural gas. We have seen how the coal was formed million years ago. And students, one more thing I forgot to tell you. Students, this coal and petroleum cannot be prepared in lab, in laboratory. If it is exhausted also, none of the scientists will be able to prepare this, because we can't provide the favorable conditions for the preparation of coal and petroleum. It takes millions and millions of years to be formed. And we have talked about the petrol, the natural gas. We have seen the constituents of petrol, various constituents, and the uses also. And finally, the very important thing is, I told you, while using the petroleum product, we have to be very careful. We have to save these for our future generations also, for the sustainable development also. I hope, students, you are the future generation. I hope I am able to touch you. I am able to convey the message to you that how important is to carefully use these petroleum products to, for the future generations also, for a healthy and happy world. This is very important. I have also talked about the air pollution, the global warming also. It is the hot issue nowadays. You all might be knowing this. So finally, before going off from this class, I would like to request you students, as you know, these are the lockdown periods, and the students like you and teachers like us, we are unable to reach to school. Just for our protection, we are at home and we are teaching you through this virtual classes. And I expect, I wish and I hope from you that you will continue, try to understand the topic and read the lesson. Once if you go through the lesson and correlate with whatever the points we have taught you, it will be easy for you to understand, and try to connect your teaching learning process, try to connect your readings, the materials, the things which is given in your textbook to the world, to the daily life activities. Science is nothing but whatever you do, what you are, what you are doing, what you're feeling, that is science. Just try to extract and connect the textbook to your daily life situation. Thank you.